So you just had a fight or a conversation, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of it, you're angry, she's angry, you're both walking away from each other. You're like, I can't talk to you at least through the end of this day, maybe even all day tomorrow, maybe even 2 days. You're like walking away from each other, back to one another. And you're wondering and asking yourselves, how is it that we're here again? How did this happen? What are we doing wrong? Why can't we seem to have a what I would call a productive conversation about this topic, right? If that's happening to you, I wonder if you, like many of the people that I work with, might be breaking what I call one of the cardinal communication rules in marriage. And I want to walk you through what that looks like and how to do it differently, so that these times of angry, not talking, right, pulling away from each other are less and less by the week. When your spouse approaches you, when your wife comes and says, hey, honey, can we talk about something? Before you do anything else, before you agree, before you disagree, before you ask what it's about, before you find some other excuse or something else that needs to be doing, because we don't want to talk about the things we need to talk about sometimes. Before you do anything else, what I want you to do is do what I call a temperature check. And I don't mean you look at the other person, right, head to toe, and say, you look this way, you look like you're not ready, you look so angry, you look so upset, or whatever, right? No, none of those things. I want you to do a temperature check with you. If you were to look within, if you were to check in with yourself, because that's the only person that we can check in with, right? If you were to do that with you and say, where am I at? Where am I at on a scale of 1 to 10? Am I at 1, emotionally speaking, right? Am I at I am cool like a cucumber? Is that how that goes? Right? Calm, collected, I'm all of those things. I could be talking like I'm just now, right? We're just having a conversation. There's no emotions, there's no like the graph would not go up and down like this, right? It would just be like, I'm totally fine. Like I'm unbothered, I'm fine, I'm at peace, I'm feeling good. Or are you at a 10 over here, where when you do the check-in, right, the temperature check-in, you realize every fiber of my body is kind of going, right? Maybe your heart's beating a million miles an hour. Maybe you're getting sweaty. Maybe you're so upset, so angry, so frustrated, so disappointed, so sad. Tears are coming down your face, or or are about to. All the swear words are coming up in your mind because that's all you can think about, right? Like all of those things, that's a 10. And then add to it, if sometimes we get ourselves to a 12 or a 15, even though the scale is only 1 to 10. But you get what I'm saying. If you're anywhere up there, and the point of no return is a little bit different for everyone, and you need to figure out what that is for you. If your point of return is a 5, then I want you to, at a 5, say, I am in no place, I am in no shape, I am in no form to be having this conversation with you, my love. I would love to continue to start to have this conversation with you at another time, but right now I'm not there, and I will come and find you when that's the time, or when I'm bringing myself down to a 2 or a 3 or a 4. The reason that we end up in those moments of I'm angry, she's angry, right? Like walk away, and it feels like a tornado happened, is because when we are both above our places of no return, maybe it's an 8 and the other person is at a 10, or it's a 7 and the other person is a 9, or it's a 8 and the other person is a 15, right? Whatever the numbers. what happens is, instead of having the conversation, or while we're trying to have the conversation, you keep throwing logs into the fire, and it's not the good fire, right? Like we don't like we make it on fire or whatever. Like, it's the bad kind of fire. We make it like the whole house is smoking by now. Your emotions are putting more fire or more flames to the fire, and the bigger the fire is, the less able and ready and available you are really to be present there for the conversation that you're wanting to have. So I want to invite you, the next time that your wife shows up and says, hey, can we talk about this? The next time that your husband says, hey, I've had something on my mind and I would love to share with you. If that's the place that you're at, if by doing your temperature check you realize I'm not really in a good place, I want you to not have the conversation so that you don't end up having the same result. If that's helpful, if this knowing what not to do, right? Or knowing when to postpone a conversation on purpose. And there is such a thing, because the only way you will be able to have a productive, what I would call a productive, right, adult kind of conversation, where I'm showing up as an adult, my husband is showing up as an adult. Both of us are within our range of, like, there's no flames, right? There's no emotions. We are both calm, cool, and collected. And we're available to hear, and we're available to, right, and to give. We're available to pay attention. We're available to show up for the things that we need to show up. That is the only way that you'll be able to have a productive conversation between the two of you. And so for either one of you to then own the flames that are happening inside of you and actually name them before you start throwing them throwing the logs in the fire, right? By just doing that, you will be able to prevent the fire from getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then, right, needing 2, 3, or 4 or 5 days in between for the fire to sort of cool off before you can come back together. Temperature check. Do it, and do it on you. Don't try to do it on the other person. I want you to remember to do it just for you, because we think we can. We think we're good at it. We think we can read somebody else's insides. We're not as good as we think. Trust me. So do the temperature check on you. Own your availability or lack thereof. Own your readiness or the lack thereof. That doesn't mean that you don't want to have those conversations. That just means that right now, right in this moment, might not be the best time. And that is and will always be the best gift that you can give to your marriage and to your spouse. If you found this helpful, if knowing how to do a temperature check, if knowing how to prevent these moments of I am angry, you're angry, how are we doing this again? How did we find ourselves in this very same place one more time when we said to ourselves, we're never doing this again? If that was helpful and you would like another relationship tip or marriage communication tool, I'm going to leave another video. Open that up and I'll see you in there.